Like, I mean, we can be critical of this team, and I think that it's somewhat disrespectful when we try to act like they don't deserve criticism. Like, we can criticize them. Criticizing them for celebrating seems weird to me. Criticizing for how often they smile seems weird to me. But criticizing for their performance, I think, feels right. But the transitions, are hard part to me is we're obviously in a state of transition and flux, and it seemed like the best players, the most impactful players, the fastest, most explosive players were the young players, and it's time to transition to them. It's hard to have that transition, but that seemed like the problem. The people who were impacting the game were not Rapinos. I guess Lindsey Aron was really impactful. She's not like a super young player, but all the best players seem like the younger players, and we're trying to hold on to.
Look at you breaking this down.
I mean,
I know. I think it's what the uncomfortable truth is that the grasp that the American women's team have had on the dominance of the sport, you saw in real time. We lost grasp of that. We lost our dominance over the rest of the world in this sport. Other leagues have taken, a stronghold. The WSL in England, in particular, Barcelona's women's team is absolutely incredible, and the Barcelona Academy have developed incredible players. We're still playing like we're still developing players like it's 1995 out there. Going to these independent academies and just trying to develop superior athletes as opposed to footballers. And you're seeing in real time what's happening. The truth be told is we should be ushering away from that old guard and moving on to a younger, more dynamic group. I've mentioned Ashley Sanchez. Trinity Rodman has been mentioned on this show before, or on this segment. We've got to move towards the youth and let them start to develop themselves as a unit and as a team. What you saw out there was 11 individual players, which used to be good enough for the U.S. to win. That no longer is the case. You need to be a team.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, we said this on our show. It goes back to the coaching. I mean, I think it's and not just the coaching in this particular for the U.S. Women's National Team. It goes to the how do we coach those youth players? Why were the young players so good, right? It says something to the individual talent and the individual coaching that they've received in academies, in college and stuff like that. But then when you watch the Spanish national team, they 100% look like Barcelona, Neymar, Messi, Luis Suarez. They play like Xavi. They play like Iniesta. That is the structure and model that they are passing down to anybody that comes through the Barcelona system. So that is the thing that needs to, it's difficult for us to kind of have that, and it goes into a bigger conversation about how coaching and academies and pay to play and being a kid playing soccer is incredibly expensive for families in this country. But yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But without a doubt, you need both. You need obviously veteran leadership and young players. But it goes back to what I said. Blanco needed to make those decisions to have those younger players on the field, because there's a lot of young players that didn't see any time at the World Cup, and it's truly a shame.
I will tell you that listening to you guys is like listening to myself, and now I know why Dan gets very, very annoyed and frustrated with me, and I'm proud of you. Especially one of you said the coach should have been fired before the game, not after the game, before the game, which is an outstanding take. I'm going to remind you guys, Rapinoe hits that PK, and she normally does. We're not having any of these conversations today. Not one of them.
That's
Coach,
not exactly true.
No, no. They have advanced. Coach put the right person in at the right time. KG veteran. She's been there before, been in that spot. That's why he put her on the team. That's the conversation we're having today.
Well, she should have. She should have made it, right? And that's why she was laughing after missing it, because she could not believe that she missed it, because she for years, I can't even remember the last time Megan Rapinoe missed a penalty. She's the designated penalty taker all the time, the last 12 years essentially, and she never misses. And it's such a crazy end of this story that the fact that she missed at all. But no, so look, other people missed, right? Sophie Smith, it sucks. A young player missed her opportunity. Kelly O'Hara, a veteran who should have done better there, also missed. And even if you look at after the game, the camera was on her, and Kelly O'Hara was like, F me. How did I miss? She couldn't. It was just unfathomable that the U.S. was even in that position. But the game shouldn't have even gone to penalties, because we absolutely dominated that game.
So with the U.S. national team being eliminated, I was watching this to root for them. Who should I root for now? I need to have a team that I can cheer for.
Australia, no?
Yeah, pitch me on who my new
Wait,
favorite
this
team
thing
is.
still goes after U.S. loses?
To 50% of the country, no. I depends. What are you into? Give me an idea. Like, do you hate colonizers? Because if so, England's not the one for you.
I'm very anti-colonizer.
There you go. All right. So I would say then I would maybe like a Jamaica or Colombia. They're playing each other. So whoever wins that game, that's who you root for. Or Japan. Yeah. Japan is wavy as hell.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun teams to watch. This has been an interesting World Cup, but there's just like a lot of different character, and it's not just simply the U.S. dominating through. So for me, I always say like I'm one of my best friends that got me into the sport is Colombian. So I'm like Colombia ride or die. When Colombia the men missed the World Cup, I was like, all right, well now I know the U.S. is not gonna probably win, so who am I going to support? But Colombia is my team.
Who are the players that we need to watch? Most exciting, because I know the women's team, our women's team, fairly well, and I got educated on it before the tournament and watched those games. So I feel like I don't know who to watch. Like I see colors, I see jerseys, I see flags, but I'm watching the game and nobody seems all that like stand out impressive to me. Are there players that we need to be watching?
Yeah, I would have told you Lauren James, but she just went surfing on another player's body, so she's probably out for the tournament. It's ridiculous.
If I may, gentlemen, if I may cut you off very quickly, Alexis, I need to, as a part of the Le Batard and Friends family here, I need to know if somewhere, I don't know what your partnership, what your history is exactly, but if you get very frustrated because Christian's talking too much, like he's just he's talking a great deal and he won't shut up, and there aren't any windows for you to get in there and do jazz hands, or do you have such good chemistry and a lifelong friendship allows you to tolerate that your partner is a bit of a gas bag?
I don't know, dog. You just interrupted me, so maybe it's not all Christian.
He tends to do that.
We support each other with our strengths and weaknesses, Dan. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's Cubano on Cubano violence, Dan.
How dare you? Okay?
I just wanted to hear something from Alexis, and I feel like I haven't heard enough from him because it was a pretty important game that was played yesterday that echoes societally, and I was curious about his thoughts.
Hey, listen, I love Christian. The kid's a bit of a yipper, but I love him. You know, he's going to yip. You know, what are you going to do?
Really came in here and cleaned it up, Dan. Thanks.
I have a question.
It's going fine. I mean,
I have a question.
Threw a Molotov cocktail into the mix.
Is the MLS?
I'm wearing. Look at the shirt I'm wearing. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and if they would have sent me one that fit, I'd also be wearing it.
Is the MLS cheating for Messi?
yep.
Oh, dude.
Stop this. I hope so.
The other team scored a goal for him yesterday.
Dude, no, that Farfan goal. I was going to ask you that on today's show, bro. That was crazy.
Also, you know how hard I would love to get an assist from Messi? I don't care what team I'm playing for.
I don't care what jersey I'm wearing, bro. That was crazy. Yeah. Are they cheating for him? I don't know. But now I'm too self-conscious to make my point because Dan Le Batard called me out.
Yes.
Just use less words. That's all he's saying.
Left in the segment.
I mean, in Dan's defense, the shit got a lot more fun when he came here and started flipping over tables.
Well,
way to go, Dan.
I know that. Thank you, Dominique, for citing a certain expertise I have to know when a show is sinking into the quicksand because it happens so often around here. But you have to mix. You have to mix the game analysis that the nerds care about to cast a wider net with everything that's happening with this team, which it's really small to say, oh, this person should have been starting, that person should have been starting, this person should have been PKs, when they are, for a quarter of a century, a symbol of an American champion that, as great as it was on the field, has a resonance larger than that off of it, and many times larger, even though they were the epic empire of teaching women.
Shut up, Dan. Other people got to say stuff.
He's a writer.
I was waiting for it. I'm like, is someone going to do this to him?
Why don't we do the hard network out on Dan, bro? What's going on?
So you interrupt me to do that.
So Messi, we're cheating for him or what? I mean, if we are, I'm down with it. Like, it's been fun. It's a lot more fun than when Beckham came over, when Ibra came over. They weren't putting up numbers like Messi is. So if we got to cheat to do it, I'm all for it.
I mean, first of all, they're doing it against Mexican teams, so it's not just MLS. He hasn't even played an MLS game yet. This is all Leagues Cup, which, up the Leagues Cup, this has gone vibey as hell.